Hey there, Julia here. Today, the 30 Inks 30 Days Challenge continues. I highly encourage you to watch last week's intro and week 1 video if you haven't already, so you kind of know what's going on here. I actually just woke up. I have my chai latte. Do you care? I don't know. But today we're going to talk about what's going down this past week. I'll show you some writing samples, share my thoughts, and pick a favorite for the week, and then ink up some new pen and ink pairs for this week with a new set of prompts. So of course, all the documentation has been going on in my ink journal. I'm gonna hide our little spoiler here. So here are the 6 inks that I went with last week. And here are the pens. Gotta have my little pen lover sticker on top of the pens. So other than doing our usual swatch, like currently inked style, I also wrote about a half page with each pair. These are lyrics, but they do go awry, so don't read too closely. So the first pen and ink pairing was the Sailor 1911 in the Yonomori Sakura colorway, inked up with Monteverde Birthday Cake, and I really loved this match. I scored it, let's see, the pen a 4, the pen's performance a 4, the ink a 4.5, so it scored an 8.5, and I'm just gonna say right now that most of the pen and ink pairings were top tier. The next one was Birmingham Pen Company Tailings Pond with the Platinum Calico 3776. Also a really great match. I think I've been going wrong with this pen all along in inking up lighter browns and tans. This was really great. I will say that I was getting a few, like, not hard starts, but every now and again my downstrokes would just go out. So I wonder if there's just some ink kind of clogged up in between the tines. But I will take care of that whenever I clean this out. Look how cool this page looks. The next one is the Pilot Vanishing Point with Tono and Lim's Dear Bear. Again, another solid match here. I really liked the cursive smooth italic nib in the Vanishing Point. I think this is the first time that I've used this grind in this pen. This one also got an 8.5. 4.5 for the pen, 4 for the ink. But even now, thinking about it, it may be a little lower just because it starts off really nice and saturated, and as you write, it gets a little lighter. I am taking some nail classes, oddly enough, and started like taking notes with this and ended up switching out about a page down just because it was getting so light and just not as nice, the shading. The shading, too much contrast as well. But overall, I really do like the combination, at least aesthetically. The Sailor Pro Gear with the Journaler nib matched up with Ferris Wheel Press Goose Poupon was really nice. I know I mentioned last week that there was some contamination maybe, but I really don't see it as much here and in the other writing that I've done this week. I feel like I've probably used between this pen and the Kakano, I probably used these two the most. Oh, this one too. So 1, 2, 3. These the most out of the bunch. This was the next match up here. I had an okay time with it. I really liked the color once everything kind of got settled. Whenever I inked this up, it was leaning a little more blue. Yeah, a little dark down here, but it leveled out pretty quickly and it was nice to write with. I found it just a little dry, but not terribly so. And I do believe this one scored the lowest for my own kind of rating system. Got a 4 for the pen, a 3 for the ink, a 7 overall. And then the Pilot Kakano with Dominant Industry and Amoya Borealis. This one was a champ, which I just should not be surprised. The Pilot nibs on here are just so great to write with, and this ink was nice and wet, and I loved the color on the page, and it was great. So with that said, as far as a favorite, there was a 3-way tie between the Pilot Kakano here, this one, Pilot VP with Tono and Limbs, and the Sailor 1911 with Monteverde Birthday Cake. And so I think right away this can be ruled out as a favorite for the week. And I'm just going with gut feeling here because these both were so great. I'm gonna go with the Sailor 1911. This ink was just so great. I think Monteverde inks are sleepers, but so good. So we're gonna call this the favorite for the week, and it moves on to becoming the favorite for the month. I feel like I'm doing a little reality show with my pens. So this is the finalist, the semi-finalist, or is it? Yeah, I guess it would be finalist for the favorite of the month. So I have that written here. I have all the scores written here. I also added a little grid for all of the inks. So at the end of the month, I can see all the inks I tried out for this challenge. Okay. It's time to pick our new prompts for the week. This is the pen prompt. This is the ink prompt. Let's do it. Oh my God, I feel like I have multiple in my hand. I'm just gonna look away, split them, pick. Okay, oh my gosh. For pens, never been inked or only inked one time. Oh boy. And we're gonna pair those pens with Ferris wheel press inks. So I have Ferris wheel press down as a prompt in itself because I'm on and off a Jubilee ambassador for them, and so I just have so many Ferris wheel press inks, and some of them I don't really get to put in pens very often just because of sheer numbers. So this should be fun. Never been inked or only one time if I can't find 6 that have never been inked. And Ferris wheel press inks. Okay, I'll be right back. I'll ink up some pens. We'll talk about them. Let's do it. Okay, we are ready to rock and roll. I found 6 pens that have never been inked. And of course, I found 6 matching inks. All Ferris wheel press. So the first one I went to immediately, probably the easiest one of the bunch. This is the Esterbrook Esty collaboration with Helen from the Coffee Monsters Co. And here is my section swirl, which they're all different in different pens, and it's just so cool how different they are. You can see the little Coffee Monster on the nib there. This is a medium nib now, but I think by time you see this, it's going to be ground to something else. So that'll be a fun little midweek change with this. But I have this inked up with Ferris wheel press, of course. I'm not going to say Ferris wheel press every time because it's going to be obvious. This is Age of Orum, which is a lovely golden brown color that I do remember really enjoying the last time I had inked up in a different pen. It's looking much more brown than I remember in the swatch anyways. Yeah, I think this is going to be a beautiful complement, not necessarily a straight up match. Next up, I got this ink all over my hands. So we're kind of clean now, but this is the Banu Euphoria in pink Guava. This has a broad nib, and I inked this up with Sugar and Spiked, which is a fun kind of fuchsia color. It matches this. It has lots of shimmer in it, but I thought this one would be perfect for this pen match. And I was gonna put a different nib in here, like a fine or something a little more like everyday writer, but then I was like, you know, let's have a little fun with this. Let's keep it the juicy broad. I feel like that's gonna be a really fun combination there. The next one I have is a Narwhal Original Plus. This colorway is called Lavender Tetra. I got it for my birthday last year from my dad, and I just haven't inked it up yet. No real reason, because I definitely think it's so pretty, but I decided to ink this up with Harlequin Dream. It's almost looking more blurple on this page, or on this paper. This is Cosmo Air Light, and this does have a fine nib. No, it doesn't, and it has a medium nib. Sure does write like a fine though. It's a really beautiful ink, and it's definitely not the closest match in the world, but it's still pretty nice. Next, I decided to ink up the Pelican M200 in the Golden Lapis colorway. I got this in a Reddit Secret Santa swap, and I don't think I've tried this size Pelican with the steel nib yet, so I'm excited to give this a try. And I have this inked up with Ferris Press's 15-year anniversary, like ink of the year. This is Blue Revelry. So really nice blue with some green, maybe color shifting shimmer in there. So we'll see how this behaves in here, but this is a fine nib. Ooh, I like it posted. Ooh, that is juicy. This is not a fine nib. I am so sorry. My eyes are deceiving me. This is a broad nib. This is going to be really interesting with two broad nibs in play this week. It writes really nice though. It's a nice like balance of smoothness, wetness, but a little bit of feedback. Very interesting. And aesthetically, I think that's a gorgeous match. What do you think? Okay, next up we have this gorgeous pen. This model is called the Slim Westwood, and it was a collaboration between River City Pens and Stationery Universe. This takes Bach nibs, and so I have a fine Bach nib from Papa J Studio installed in here. And as far as the ink, I went with what used to be one of my favorite inks, and I just haven't inked it up in so long. It's like one of my first few inks, and possibly my first while in the Ferris Press Ambassador Program. This is Glistening Glass, which you can see has some shimmer in it, but it is like a dusty gray blue. And I'm honestly really curious to know if it's the same color it used to be, since it has been sitting for some years. And at least in my experience, my Ferris Wheel Press inks tend to darken, especially if they don't have that little plastic gasket up like on top of the bottle opening. So we will see. It does look a little darker to me, but not alarmingly so. This is the swatch, which usually looks a little darker most of the time compared to the writing. Writing is looking fine to me as well. Maybe the tiniest bit darker, I don't know. This colorway is called Waves of Neptune. Ugh, so pretty. I love this ink. Oh, no! What happened there? That was weird. It's an interesting little combination there. I don't know what I'm gonna do about this. I'm just, I guess, gonna try to soak it up. Let's try with this first. I don't care. I'm gonna write and swatch right on top of it. Okay, the next one is a newer acquisition. It's the Lami Allstar 2025 edition in the aubergine. So it has a fun little pop section here. It's so neon. And so I was thinking if I should do like a green yellowish ink or just stick with the purple, and I decided to stick with purple. And I went with Auroralis, which I think was the ink of the year for 2024, but a super dark purple with lovely like rose gold shimmer. Keep this a little tight. I went with a lot of shimmer this time around, surprising. And I did get a comment in one of my recent videos about putting shimmer in a Lami Safari or All-Star, and I haven't had any clogging issues in my feed. Whenever I clean my Lamis, I do take the nib off and clean the feed as well. And I don't know, I've just never had any issues. I also don't put a ton of shimmer in my pens, like I just do like a little weak shake. This glistening glass is probably more shimmer than I usually put in pens, but we'll see how it goes. This does have a little bit of blue just cycling out of the nib and feed, just because when I got it, I did pop the blue cartridge in to like pass around to colleagues and be like, here, try a fountain pen. So it is a little blue in writing, but I think that will cycle itself out pretty quickly. Fun. What a fun palette, unintentionally. So while this is drying, I'm going to work on this grid over here and just lay all of the inks down. And this is going to be super satisfying to peel off the washi tape at the end of the month. Sugar and Spite. Harlequin Dream. Blue Revelry. Glistening Glass. And Auroralis. Okay, I'm gonna probably just glue these down here later, but let's take a look. So we have the Esterbrook SD, the Coffee Monsters collaboration, inked up with Age of Orum, the Banu Euphoria in pink Guava with a broad nib, inked up with Sugar and Spite. That's just so fun. The Narwhal Original Plus and the Lavender Tetra, inked up with Harlequin Dream. The Pelican M200 and Golden Lapis, inked up with Blue Revelry. This also has a broad nib. The Stationery Universe collaboration with River City Pens and Waves of Neptune, and this is inked up with Glistening Glass. And then the Lami Allstar and Aubergine, inked up with Auroralis. So there we are for the week. Very excited, curious, just wondering how this is gonna go. So very eclectic mix of pens. I don't know if I would ever put these pens together in a usual like currently inked situation, but that's why we're doing this, and just using inks that I haven't used, a lot of them in a really long time or ever. So I'm excited to dive in. Which pen and ink pairing do you think will score the highest next week? Let me know. And be sure you're subscribed and have hit that bell so you can come back and see if you're right. If you want to see all the pens that I'm picking from for this challenge, I'll leave my fountain pen collection video for you here to check out next. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I'll catch you all in the next one.